Yeah, good morning, Dr. Ramanand. This is Zishan, and I'll be presiding over this webinar as a trainer. So we have close to about 600 plus registration. I mean, close to about
1200, more than 1200.
1200, sir.
Yes. So I think we only have about 200 participants who have joined in. So let's
just
talk
it
another
will
5 to
take
10 minutes, and then we can proceed over the webinar.
Okay. This Chandana Pal will coordinate the things, and then after that, she will moderating all the program.
Sure, absolutely, sir. No problem. So,
Ishan sir, good morning. I am Manish.
good morning, Dr. Manish. Good morning, Manish.
Dr. Rama sir, Bhanesh here. I just make it live on the YouTube.
That is good.
Okay. Thank you.
Chandana ji, we will wait 5 minutes, and after that we will start.
So when you will tell me to start, I'll start right away. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Malvi sir. Malvi sir is there?
Yes.
सर मैंने आपको लिंक भेजा हुआ था, वो मिल गया होगा आपको.
कौन सा लिंक?
वो फॉर्म.
हाँ, वो मिल गया. लेकिन वो आप अपने यहाँ से ही करवाएंगे ना उसको?
हाँ ठीक है, वो चैट बॉक्स में
उसको डलवा दीजिएगा जो 15-20 मिनट पहले.
ठीक है सर.
ठीक. क्वेश्चन आंसर समझ के आप लोग उस समय चैट बॉक्स में डलवाइए. Chandana ji,
Yes, sir.
now we will start.
Okay, sir. Shall we? Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the dignitaries and the participants. I, Chandana Paul from Vatel, India, would like to welcome all of you to this national webinar organized by Vatel Hotel and Tourism Business School and Library Resource Center, Sushant University, in collaboration with Nexus Global EduTech on how to write and publish papers in more than 50,000 Web of Science and Scopus in Text journals and conference papers effectively and efficiently using Typeset Research Studio. Typeset uses effective tool and a number of research have increased because of this Typeset. I would now like to welcome Mr. Manish Mishra, Senior Manager from Nexus Global EduTech, to say a few words. Mr. Manish, over to you, please.
Okay, ma'am. Welcome everyone. A very good morning and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Manish Mishra, Senior Manager, Nexus Global EduTech. Before presentation, I would like to introduce ourselves. Global EduTech is having a pan-India network and we are dealing in ebooks, online journals, textbooks, reference books, plagiarism softwares, typesets, and turntable plagiarism software. We have associated with international and national publishers. Our core competency is to provide better services to our client. Today, we are presenting national webinar organized by the joint venture with Sushant University and Nexus Global EduTech on how to write and publish paper in 15,000 plus Web of Science and Scopus index journals and the conference paper effectively and efficiently using Typeset Research Studio. Before we get started, I would like to say thanks to Dr. R.N. Malviya sir and their management and team. Also, I say thanks to our trainer and consultant, Mr. Jishan Ahmed, and our director, Mr. Mahesh Wagh, and the complete Global Educate team. Audience, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box. We will bring them up during presentation and we will have a time for question the end. Now, without further delay, this mic over to the coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, before starting, I would like to announce that if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat box as mentioned by Mr. Manish Mishra. And also there would be a feedback form which will be floated before the end of the webinar. So kindly fill it for the e-certificate. Now, without further delay, we will turn the time over to our speaker, Mr. Zishan Ahmed. Mr. Zishan Ahmed heads the university support and training division at Typeset. He has more than 5 years of expertise in providing training on the Typeset platform to researchers and faculty from different institutes. I would now request Mr. Ahmed to start the session further. Sir, over to you, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chandana, for giving me an opportunity to do this demonstration. Before I proceed with the webinar, I will also thank a few other panelists who are a part of this webinar. First of all, Professor Dr. Garima Prakash for giving us an opportunity, Dr. Ramanand Malviya, Mrs. Chandana Paul. Then we have a few other panelists who are a part of the webinar today. So what I'm going to do is, we have a few panelists who are from the, can you please go ahead and mute them? I think Manish sir, can you mute yourself, please? Manish, we have some background noise that is coming in.
Not from my side, sir.
Not sure from okay, I think it's better now. So
I think it's fine, sir. I have.
questions, and after the webinar is concluded, probably before the webinar is concluded, we'll have a 15 to 20 minutes time period where we will go and answer all of the questions that you would be putting across in the
Jishan, Mr. Jishan, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is breaking. Mr. Jishan.
Yeah, Mahesh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. I'm getting your voice right now.
Yeah, I think there was some technical issue. Just one moment. Yeah, I think, can you see my screen? Yeah, Mahesh, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see you.
Yes, I'm able to see.
Perfect. So before we start, I think we have discussed about the question and answer sessions as well. We'll keep it at the end. So any questions that you might have would not be answered right away. They would be answered at the end of the session. So we would just go ahead and start with the webinar. Now, as our topic suggests, is one of the most important aspects in in the research ecospace today is how do you write your research articles so that all the research articles would get published in any one of the journals that you wish to write. Now, we have been working with various universities across the globe since the last 7 years, and we have done various amount of surveys in which we have got different results, which are some of the most common problems that are faced with the researchers today. Now, imagine yourself that you are actually writing a research article. Now, so what are some of the most common problems that you would come across, in your research writing ecospace? Now, so one of the most important factor in writing a research paper is formatting a research paper according to a submission guideline. As if you let's imagine that you're actually writing a research article for probably a physics journal. Now, and if that particular physics journal is from Elsevier, now you might want to probably understand what are the Elsevier submission guidelines, right? So Elsevier submission guidelines, you'll be able to see that Elsevier has a pretty comprehensive document in which it has written all the submission guidelines in which the article has to be formatted, right? So as the first step in a research article, you would probably choose a subject. Now, after you have done the research, you want to get it published, because when an article gets published, that is when you get a confirmation that the research that you have done is probably go ahead and look at different journals in which a research article. If you want to submit a research article to Elsevier, this is their submission guidelines. So any research article that is submitted to Elsevier, you should make sure that it is formatted according to this guidelines. Now, similarly, if you want to probably write it for a Springer journal, a Springer journal also has it also has the different guidelines. So every journal or every publisher has a completely different guidelines. Now, in the research writing cycle, one of the most difficult part is writing the research. Now, since you have done your research, the next important aspect is how do you format your research article according to these guidelines. Now, that is one of the most common problems that is faced by the researchers across the globe today. Now, how is formatting done at the moment? If you look at the research ecospace, most of the formatting today is done either over MS Word or using a latex editor or probably using latex language. Now, let's imagine that you're from a non-technical background, or probably you're from a non-program background, where you might be writing a research article for chemistry, or you might be writing a research article in physics or in biology, where you do not have any exposure towards any programming language. So in such case, understanding latex and learning latex just to write a research article would be a huge learning curve. Now, you have spent ample amount of time in doing your research and collecting the research and writing the research as well. And even after doing so, you might be able to spend another few weeks or probably a few days in understanding how latex works, just because you need to get your article published. So we believe that in the recent surveys that we did, it was very evident that latex has a very huge learning curve, because you are not only supposed to learn latex, but because if you even have to write a simple title in latex, I'll just show you what would be the number of quotes. Latex code for title. So if you just go ahead and probably type in as latex code for title, you will probably understand that, there would be at least 15 to 20 lines of code that you just need to write for the latex, just to start a title. Right? This is just an example of how do you write a title. So you're not only typing the code, but you even in that case, you will have to go ahead and type in the title as well. So which is a very time-consuming task. And it is also a very manually intensive process. Now, what was the other important problem that most of the researchers actually faced into the research ecospace today? What was, so every researcher was using multiple different tools. Now, for building up your research, for building up your reference library, you might be using Mendeley, or you might be using Zotero, or you might be using EndNote. Now, for citation as well, you might be using an EndNote. Now, for formatting or for building your research, you might be using MS Word, or you might be using LaTeX. So, a researcher in a normal research writing cycle, he has to use multiple different tools for for gathering the research and for writing the research, as well as for formatting, as well as for building his reference library as well. So this is one of the most important problem today, where the researcher has to keep switching between one tool to the other tool as well. Now, the other important aspect in terms of some of the most common problems is in terms of the collaboration with co-authors. As you might be aware, that a research article might have multiple co-authors, right? So a single research article can be written by 3 or 4 co-authors as well. Now, how do you collaborate with them? Now, during these times where we have been hit by a pandemic, it's very important that you will be able to collaborate remotely, as well as you have ample amount of time so that you can collaborate with co-authors, and you will be able to write a research article in a much better way. So currently, there is no tool in the research ecospace which helps you collaborate. Most of the collaboration would happen physically, or they would happen on an email. If you are sitting at a single place, probably all the co-authors would just sit at a single place, and then they would collaborate with each other, and then they would come to a conclusion that this is the research article. But if you have to do that on an email, there would be hundreds and thousands of emails that you will be exchanging before coming to a conclusion. So collaboration is again one of the most important problems today. Now, apart from that, now imagine that if you have completed this research, if you have come across all of these problems and somehow you have overcome them. Now, one of the again important problems is, how do you get your document independently reviewed? Imagine that you have a guide, or probably if you're writing a PhD thesis, or if you're writing a research article, you have a guide who's actually helping you. Now, how do you make sure that they can actually have a look at the document on probably at a place, and they can directly add in comments? So you might be doing it over an email, or you might be doing it on Google Docs. So Google Docs is not a research editing software. It's generally a general editing kind of a software. So most of the researchers do not prefer Google Docs, because the data might not be encrypted, or there might be some sort of a loss in the data. As a reason, getting a document independently reviewed is again one of the most common problems that is faced by the researchers today. Now, how can Typeset actually bridge this gap, right? So what is Typeset? So Typeset is basically an authoring platform that has been built for the researchers. So we have been in the business since the last 7 years, and we are present in the 91 plus countries, and 700 plus universities are actually using Typeset. We have co-authored more than 60,000 plus research articles as of today, and we have more than about 100 plus thousand authors that are actively using Typeset. Now, the other important problem is that, as you can see, that in one of the survey that we did, that it was estimated that about 1.5 million hours are wasted on reformatting rejected articles, right? Because you would format a research article according to Elsevier format, but by any chance, due to a lot of different reasons, a research article might get rejected, right? Now, I will show you how Typeset can actually bridge this gap. Now, going back to the other slide, so Typeset is basically an authoring platform that is built for researchers. Now, Typeset actually helps eliminate the formatting needs. Now, what we have done is we have converted all of these guidelines into simple templates. Now, you do not need to go ahead and understand each of these lines, right? Where you need to understand that the length is less than 6,000 words, or the length of the text is less than 3,000 words. All of these minute details has been converted into different templates. So whenever you're ready for getting your paper published, you just choose a specific template, you upload your research article, and the software will automatically convert it according to these guidelines. Now, now let's talk about what is the database of the Typeset platform. So we have more than 50,000 plus Scopus and Web of Science indexed journals that are present on the templates gallery today. So we have a subject area ranging from humanities, from nanotechnology, from astrophysics. You name any subject area, we will have at least 3 or 4 journal templates that are available, so that you can go ahead and access these templates and take care of formatting your research articles. Now, how does it work? Basically, it's a clutter-free editor where you do not need to have any sort of coding experience, or you do not need to understand any programmatic language, right? Then you will be able to easily add the references, equations, figures, and tables. You do not need to keep switching between one tool to other tool, which generally happens in the in the normal scenario. Now, what Typeset does is it automatically formats your research article into the journal guidelines. So you choose a template, you upload your research article, and the software would automatically convert that into a journal guideline. Once the conversion has happened automatically, you will be able to download submission-ready documents, either in PDF format, in MS Word, or in LaTeX format, and then straight away go ahead and submit these research articles to any preferred journal that you are writing a research article for. Now, what is the USP of the product? Now, imagine that you have written a research article for Elsevier, but by any chance, if Elsevier rejects your research article, you might have to go and understand Springer's guidelines and then convert that into Springer guidelines manually. But on Typeset, the platform can actually help you reformat a research article from Elsevier to Springer in just a few seconds, right? Now, apart from that, you'll be able to seamlessly collaborate between all the co-authors. Now, getting into the features in detail, we'll directly jump onto the live demonstration so that I can walk you through how you'll be able to access the Typeset platform. So I can see that there are a few chats. I think there are a few chats that are coming in. I think, Mahesh, can you please keep monitoring the chats? So probably we can just answer them at the end of the session. So let me just go and show you how the access would happen. Let me just go ahead and hide the floating region controls. Yeah, so what you're looking on my screen is basically a custom secure subdomain, which is called as publisher.typeset.io. So the name of the publisher would actually be replaced by the name of the university here. So if Sushant University makes a decision of using Typeset, so we would be building a separate custom secure subdomain for them, where all the faculty members, or the authors, or the students at Sushant University can actually, log into this particular platform. They can create their account using the sign up option, and then they'll be able to log into the platform using their email address and the password. So you click on login, put in your email address and the password, and then you'll be able to log into the dashboard. Now, the moment you log into the dashboard, you will see that towards your left, you will have all the different subcategories, such as the recent documents that you've worked upon, or any historical documents that you've been working on over a period of year or probably 2 years. So they would be actually segregated here in this particular column. And then if there is any author article that has been shared with you by any co-author, you will be able to find that article here in the shared with me column. And if there is any article that you have star marked, or probably there's any article that you have marked as favorite, they would start showing up here in the favorites column. And any document that you have recently worked upon, they would start showing up here with the template details and when was it uploaded and what was the time that you last opened this particular research article. Now, the first step in formatting a research article is by going to the templates gallery. Now, the moment you go to the templates gallery, you will see that there are about 54,000 plus results that you'll be able to find across. Now, the first step in templates gallery is you can just go ahead and type in any keyword. Now, for an example, if you're writing a research article for physics, you will just go ahead and type in as physics. Now, the moment you type in as physics, you will see that there are about 700 plus results that are showing up, which the author can choose any journal from, right? So similarly, you can go ahead and type in as chemistry as well. Let's say if you want to probably search in for hospitality, you can go ahead and search for hospitality as well. Right. So every keyword, you can probably go ahead and search for nanosciences. So any keyword that you put across, you'll be able to go ahead and search for a particular template here. So imagine that if you're writing a particular research article in physics, or if you want to just do a keyword search, or probably the keyword might be astrophysics, you will come in here and just type in, you will search as astrophysics. Right? Now you can see under astrophysics, you will have at least 40 plus results now. So this is how the templates gallery would actually give you, a search result with just a simple keyword search. Now I'm just putting in as chemistry, and I'll probably go ahead and choose any one of the journals from here, or probably let's say Bentham Science. You can go ahead and search for the author, probably the publisher name as well. Like if I put in Bentham Science, you'll be able to, whatever journals are there under Bentham Science, you'll be able to go ahead and journals. Right? Now, can we, if any participant has a suggestion on the journal, they can go ahead and put in their name, and we'll go ahead and use the same journal as well. If there are any participants who can suggest us a few names, we'll be able to use. Mahesh, I think please mute yourself. There is some disturbance. Sure, I think we have got a few suggestions here. I'll go ahead and use the same template. I think the suggestion that we had got from Mr. Journal of Macroeconomics. I'll probably go ahead and search for just one moment. I think we're just having some issue with the mic. So I think we have just taken the suggestion as Journal of Macroeconomics, or probably we have from Shivani Gupta, we have Annals of Library and Information Science. I'll search for the name as Annals of Library and Information Science, which is by Nisker Publications. Right? I'll just go ahead and use. Participant, just give me one moment. I'll just go ahead and. Mr. Manish, can you hear me?
Hello.
Mr. Mahesh, I think we are having some issue with background noise. Can you please have a look in this? Okay, I think we'll just probably go ahead with the. So there was a suggestion on Annals of Libraries and Information Studies. So we have just got in and started using this particular template. Now, once you have chosen the template, you have an option here which tells you use template with. You click on use template with, and then you click on my MS Word file. Now, the moment you click on my MS Word file, you can straight away go ahead and upload the research article that you have written into an MS Word file. Now for this the webinar, I'd be choosing this document called as a demo document. Then I click on open. Now the moment I click on open, you will see that this particular research article would be analyzed by our AI system. And once the document has been analyzed, you will have to actually help the system in tagging a few elements. Now you can see that the AI system is analyzing the document. So generally this analysis would take about 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the size of the file. Now you can see that the document has been analyzed. Now to format it according to Annals of Library and Information Studies, you need to follow a 4 simple step process. So you click on Let's Go. And now this pop-up tells you to choose the title that contains your article's title. So this is my article's title. I selected my article's title. Then I click Save and Continue. Now after that, this pop-up will ask me to choose the authors and affiliations. So these are my authors and affiliations. Then I'll click Save and Continue. After that, this is the abstract. So I choose the box that contain your article's abstract. So this is my abstract. I've selected the abstract, then I'll click Save and Continue. Now, after that, we'll go to the references. We'll click on the first reference and then the last reference. Also, you can notice here that my reference is actually jumbled across here. The name of the author is actually at the end of the references. The software has an ability to automatically correct this because we're integrated with Crossref, which is one of the largest database of the references across the globe. So if there is any erroneous information, if there's any missing information in the reference, the software has an ability to automatically correct it. Once the references have been selected, you click Save and Continue, and then you click on Preview Formatted Document. So you need to help the software in tagging these 4 elements, which is the title, the authors and affiliations, this is the abstract, and then the references. Once you do a tagging of all of these 4 elements, the software would actually take about 30 to 60 seconds in automatically converting this research article according to the guidelines of Annals of Library and Information Studies. Yeah, as you can see now, the document is getting converted. Generally, the conversion time would actually depend on the speed of the internet connectivity as well as the size of the file. Yeah, as now you can see that when I uploaded this research article, it had a complete different formatting style. But now you can see how it has been converted according to the Annals of Library and Information Studies, right? So there are a few important elements which are very important in terms of formatting the research article. Now, the guidelines of Annals of Library and Information Studies actually recommends that all the figures and the tables should actually be moved at the end. So even though I uploaded all the images and the tables in between the text, now the software has automatically moved all of these tables as well as the images at the end of the research article. It has automatically added the list of the figures, the list of the tables, and then it has moved everything. Also, let's look at how the reference formatting has happened. Now we can see when we uploaded, the references did not have any sort of a numbering. But now you can see that the references have been formatted according to the guidelines of Annals of Library and Information Studies. Right? Also, this was the reference that we had looked at, which was the first reference had the name of the author at the end. But now you can see that the name of the author is appearing at the beginning of the references. And also, the software has an ability to automatically reformat and format the references according to the journal guidelines. So this is how the software actually converts your unformatted research article into a submission ready document. So now if you want to make any edit to this particular document, you do not need to do it on docx and again re-upload the research article. Rather than that, you can just click on edit on Typeset and then you will actually land on the editor. So this is just like an MS Word editor where you'll be able to make any customization or make any edit to the document that you have. Yeah, now you can see that the editor has been divided into 3 different views. Now, towards the right screen, what you're looking is basically a preview panel. Now, this preview panel actually shows you how your document is getting built in real time. Now, at the center, you actually have an editor which actually works like an MS Word. So you'll be able to type anything here, or you'll be able to edit or delete anything here. As you can see, like this, right? So you'll be able to make any customization, you'll be able to make any delete or do anything on this particular editor. Now towards the left side, what you have is basically an outline section, which actually shows you what are the titles and the subtitles that are available in the document. And then under the author section, you have an information where you can go ahead and add or delete any author information that you want. And here you have the metadata where if you have any running title or if you're publishing an article for a same journal with a different title, you can go ahead and utilize this. But since you would be generating only a submission article, I think outline and authors would be more than enough for you. So I'll walk you through what would be the manual elements that you might have to do, right? So the keywords would automatically be picked up and they would be showing up here in the keyword section. But in certain cases, the keywords would just be added as a normal copy. So in such case, you just need to go ahead and delete and then do a refresh. Now you'll see that my extra copy of keywords, which is showing up here, would get deleted from the document. Yeah, now you can see how the keywords have been deleted from the document. Now let's go back to how the images and how everything has been formatted. You can see that all your content has been automatically formatted. So you do not need to worry about formatting anything. So in certain cases, what would happen is when an image gets imported, the caption of the image would just be below the image. So in such case, you'll just delete this particular caption and you'll add it here, right? Similarly, we'll do it for this one. We'll cut this and we'll add it here. And then we will delete this unwanted table. Right? Now you can see that right now the legends is showing up as figure 1. But if you want to add the caption, you just do a refresh. And then the caption that we have added here would start showing up here in the caption. Yeah, now you can see how the caption has been added into the document. The tables has been formatted automatically. And then even if there is any equations or images, they would also get formatted automatically. So you really do not have to do any manual work here, right? So once you know that your document is completely ready for being formatted, so you just click on File, you click on Save As, then download that into a PDF. While you're downloading, just include unsighted reference and then download. And now you'll see that within a span of about 20 to 30 seconds, you will have a document that is ready for being submitted to the Annals of Library and Information Studies. Now this has been formatted according to the guidelines. You can see here. Right? It has taken care of the formatting of the tables. It has taken care of the formatting of the images. Now there are a few manual elements that you might have to do. So it's very important for all the authors to cite the references. So if you're following author comma year style, so in such case you'll have to manually cite the references. So wherever there's a reference, you click on the cursor and then you click on cite, click on references, and then you search for the name here in the reference bar, and then you click on this, and now this gets cited as number 1, right? So similarly, I'll do it one more time for a different reference, which is for YU. So I'll click on I'll click the cursor here and then click on Cite, click on References, I click on YU, and now this is the references. I click on this and now this gets cited. Now similarly, if you want to cite a reference, probably similarly, like if you want to cite a table or a figure, it's quite the same process. So you move the cursor wherever you want to cite a figure or a table, you click on Cite, then you click on Figure, and then the figure panel would show up. You will click on whichever the figure that you would want to cite. So if you want to cite a figure 1, you click on figure 1. Okay. Now similarly, if you want to cite a table, let's just click on the cursor here, click on Cite, Table, and then you will cite table 1, table 2, or table 3. Now then this table gets cited. So now most of the research articles would have complex equations, or they would have large tables as well. Now if the equations are added using a math type equation editor on MS Word, the software has the ability to automatically add the equations. But by any chance, if you want to add the equation separately using LaTeX, so the software has an ability in which you will be able to add the LaTeX equation. So you click on Insert, and then you click on Equation, and then you choose whether you want to add an inline equation or a standalone equation. So I click on Standalone, and now there is a visual editor that will open up, which will help you build your equation from scratch. So we also have a chemical table here. So if you're writing a chemical article or a chemistry article, you'll be able to go ahead and choose any one of the chemical table from here, and you'll be able to build this particular equation. Or if you have a LaTeX equation that you have written, you can just come here and copy paste a LaTeX equation. So let me just show you how to add a LaTeX equation. So I'll just copy this and I'll add it here. Let me just re-add it once again. I'll click on this and click on Edit. Click on Edit here. Let me add an equation one more time. I'll click on Insert, click on Equations. Then I've just created the LaTeX equation. So I've copied this. Probably I'll copy this and then I'll paste it here. Sorry, I'll just paste it here in the latex equation. And now you can see my equation has got created. So this way you'll be able to go ahead and if you have very large equations, you can just go ahead and copy paste the latex code and the software would automatically create these equations. Okay, now if you're writing a research article for probably a computer science or any programmatical research journal, so we also provide an option where you can go ahead and add a code snippet. So you can just go ahead and add probably programming for hello world. You can just go ahead and add your programming codes here, right? Like this, the software has an ability to give you all the options that you would generally require in terms of writing your research article. Now, this particular platform has been built specifically for enabling researchers to write their research articles in a much efficient way, right? So you can utilize all of these options, and now you know that your equation is started showing up here. Now, if you had added a coded, if you have added a code snippet, you will be able to see that code snippet here in this particular column, right? So this is how the formatting actually happens using the Typeset platform. Now, by any chance, if your research article gets rejected by Annals of Library and Information Studies, now let's imagine that even though the quality of the research is good, but there might be n number of reasons why your research article might get rejected. Because when Annals of Library and Information Science actually calls for paper, there would be multiple authors, there would be n number of authors who would apply for, who would actually send their research article from various part of the, from different regions of the world. So your paper might get rejected probably because of the quality of the research or probably the quality of the English, or there might be n number of reasons because we are a second world country. Most of the research articles today actually get rejected because of the quality of the research as well as the quality of the English in which the article has been written. Now, at this point of time, now since you would be a faculty member or you would be a author, you would not have a time in which you will have to go ahead and understand you will have to go ahead and choose a different journal, understand that guideline, and then again convert this research article according to their research guidelines. Because understanding these guidelines would easily take about more than a week's time, right? Now imagine that you had chosen Elsevier. If Elsevier would have rejected this research article, if you have to write a research article, if you have to submit the same research article for Springer, you need to understand these guidelines, right? Which is a very difficult, due to which there is most of the authors or most of the faculty members would actually get dejected and they would just forget about the research article. So that is where the USP of the Typeset product is, right? So you can click on this inverted arrow and then you click on change template. And at the moment you change template, you will actually go on the templates gallery where you will be able to go ahead and choose a different template. Now, for an example, this was about Annals of Library Science. So I'll just click on Library Science as a keyword. Now, you'll see that under Library Science keyword, there would be about 13,000 plus journal templates. So you can go ahead and choose any template that you want to publish from. Let's probably go ahead and choose the Elsevier template, which is Library and Information Science Research. I'll click on View, and now this is how the Elsevier format is looking like, right? Now, once you choose this particular template, you click on Use this format, and now the same research article that you had written for Annals of Library Information Science from NISCARE publication, now this would completely get converted according to the Elsevier guidelines. Now, once we change the template, you can just go ahead and do a refresh. Now, the moment you do a refresh, you will see that the complete formatting of the research article would change. Yeah. Now you can see how the formatting of the research article has completely changed. Right? Now this has been converted into a single column article. The formatting of the references also has completely changed. Right? Now, once you change the template, what you need to do is you just need to go ahead and click on File, click on Save As, download it into a PDF, and then click on Download. The moment you click on Download, you will see that the same article would actually get downloaded into a PDF format, but according to the Elsevier guidelines. Initially, it was according to the NISCARE publications, but now there's the same research article has been converted into a Elsevier guideline. We can see how the formatting has happened of the tables, of the references. This was the initial document according to Annals of Library Information Sciences. Now this is according to Elsevier. You can see how the format, the font style, the font size, the formatting of the fonts, the tables, the equations, the table figures, everything has completely changed. Right? So this is how you can go ahead and automatically format from one journal format to the other journal format. Now, by any chance, if you want to convert this into a 2-column template, now let's say if you want to convert this into IEEE template, right? You click on change template, and then I'll probably choose a IEEE template. I'll just type in as IEEE. I'll click on IEEE template, and then I'll choose probably IEEE computer graphics and applications. Now this is how their template looks like. Now let's click on use this format. Now the same research article that was initially written for Annals of Library Sciences would actually get converted into a IEEE standard. You do not have to do anything, because since you had worked on the article in the initial stage, now the software would understand that it has to just change the content from the previous guideline to a new guideline. Yeah. Now you can see how the formatting has happened. Now, for an example here, in this, the images are completely taking up the entire page, right? So in such case, how do you make sure that this is fitted in a single column? So right now, for doing that, you can just click on these 3 dots, and then you can click on column fit. You can change the width from full width to a column fit. Similarly, let's do it for the same. Click on these 3 dots, and then change the width from full width to a column fit, and then do a refresh. Now, the moment you do that, what would happen here is the same image would actually change from a full width image to a column fit image. Yeah. Now you can see how the image has been converted. Right? So the software gives you every opportunity. Now, even in this case, the table is actually a very big table. Right? If you want to make this into a column fit, you also have an option where you can go ahead and make the table as a column fit table as well. So you click on this. This is a table 3. So this is the table 3. You click on this, and now you can change the width from full width to a column fit like this. So as you can see, the software has been built specifically for tackling some of the most common problems that you might face while you're writing a research article. Yeah, now you can see how it has been fitted into a single column. Now, once you know that your article is ready, you click on File, Save As, download it into a PDF. And then once you download it, you will have the document that is completely ready for being published.
Publisher Typeset.
Now you can see how it has been converted into IEEE. Now there are a lot of authors who actually convert their research articles into thesis or probably into dissertation as well, or they would be able to probably publish this, present this research article into different conferences. The Typeset platform actually helps you do that as well. So you can just click on this inverted arrow and click on change template. Now when you click on change template, you'll be redirected to the templates gallery. Now under universities, you will see that we have more than 700 plus universities who are actually using our platform. Now, there are a few universities who have their thesis and dissertation templates that are built on the particular platform. You can see that Anna University, Crescent Institute, IK Gujarat, K Society Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology, KSIT, Lakehead, Montana State University, ETH Zurich, Stanford, all of these universities have their thesis as well as dissertation templates built on our platform. You also have a thesis template for Vishweshwara Technological University, right? Now,
Mr. Zishan, sorry to interrupt. Mr. Manish, can you please mute? There is a lot of background noise which is coming. You are unmuted from 2 of the places.
No,
please
I'm muted already, madam.
No, there are, sir. I can see there are 2, and continuously in chat boxes is coming that a lot of noise is coming. So please check. There are 2 places where you are unmuted. It's in your name only.
Okay, I think I have muted him. Probably just one moment.
Yes, sir. Continue, please, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So the same research article can actually be converted into any thesis or into a dissertation template. Now, for an example, K Society Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology uses a thesis template for RIT. So we'll just go ahead and click on view format. Now, the moment you click on view format, you'll see that this is how their template, this is how the format looks like, right? Now, once you've chosen this template, then you click on use this format. Now, the moment you do that, what the software would do is it would actually convert the same research article that you had written for Elsevier or which you had written for Annals of Library Sciences or which you had written for IEEE Computer Graphics Journal into a thesis template. Now, once you've changed the template, what you need to do is you just need to do a refresh here. Now, the moment you do a refresh, you will see that the same research article would actually get converted into a thesis template. Yeah. Right. Now, this is how the thesis template this is how the article would actually get converted into a thesis format. Now, currently we do not have the thesis format of Sushant University, but whenever Sushant University decides to use Typeset, we'll be able to go ahead and build your custom template here on the platform. So all the faculty members or probably all the PhD aspirants, undergraduates, or any post graduation, if anybody is writing a thesis or a dissertation or any PhD thesis as well, they can go ahead and utilize this particular template, and then they can format the research article into a thesis as well. Now, the same thesis can actually be downloaded. Only after that has been converted, you click on Save As, and choose PDF, include uncited reference, and then download. Yeah. Now you will see that this is the document, that this is the same research article that is actually converted into a thesis format. Now you can just straight away go ahead and get this printed and then submit it to your respective departments or to your respective guides. And the time which takes for the general time which you take for probably formatting a thesis template is pretty much automated, and within just a few seconds you'll be able to automate the thesis formatting as well. Now, if you want to probably convert the same research article into a conference, so we do have we have been working with a lot of prestigious institutions in India as well as in the globe, right? So most of these authors and faculty members do a lot of presentations in different conferences. So the Typeset platform also provides an opportunity in which the same research article can actually be converted into a different conference template as well. So imagine if you're probably doing a nature conference or probably doing a Elsevier conference or AACM conference or any conference that you're looking at, you'll be able to find at least a few templates here in which you'll be able to convert your research article according to a different conference. Now, for an example, let's probably go ahead and choose ACM conference and click on view format, and then we will see this is how their format looks like, right? Now, once I've chosen the ACM format, and then I'll click on use this format. Now, the moment I do use this format, the same research article would actually get converted into a conference template. Now, once I've changed the template, I'll do a refresh, and now you'll see that the same research article would actually get converted into a conference template. Yeah. So this is how the same article has been converted into a ACM conference template. You go on File, you click on Save As, download it as a PDF, and then you'll be able to go ahead and submit it direct to the conference. So as you can see, the same platform actually provides you an opportunity in terms of formatting a research article from one format to the other format. So when we actually started from Annals of Library and Information Studies. Then we moved on to a Elsevier format. Then we moved on to a IEEE format. Then we converted the same research article according to a thesis template of Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology. Then we converted this into a ACM conference, right? So if you if you look at the USP of the product, what the software does, it not only helps you in terms of formatting, but it also helps you in terms of reformatting a research article from one journal format to the other journal format. So, but by any chance, if your research article would get rejected, if it get rejected by analysis library, you can go ahead and choose a different template and submit it to Elsevier. But by any chance, if Elsevier rejects it, you can go ahead and submit it to IEEE, right? So if you look at what the software is doing, the software is not only helping you in terms of formatting and reformatting, but it's also helping you increase your chances of your article being published in any one of these journals. Because as you might be aware, probably if you're from a physics background or probably from a chemical background, you might be aware of top 10 journals in your particular subject area, right? But what the software does here is whenever you put in the keyword, it gives you an option to explore all of these 700 plus journals. So by any chance, if the top 10 journals would reject your research article, you still have about 700 plus journals to which you can go ahead and choose any one of the journal templates, and then you can format it and submit it to their particular journal. So what Typeset is doing is it is not only helping you in terms of formatting, but is also helping you in terms of increasing your chances of your paper being published. It is also helping you in terms of journal discovery, right? So we believe that the research. Hello. So we believe that Typeset not only helps you in terms of, we believe that the researcher should only focus on doing good quality research, and formatting and reformatting of the platform, of the document or the content should actually be taken care by a software like Typeset. So I think this is about how you'll be able to use the Typeset platform. So there are a lot of questions that have come across in the chat box, right? Also in the question and answer panel. So what we will do is we will probably go answering these questions one by one. So if anybody has any questions, they can just go ahead and probably type in their questions in the chat box. Or if anybody would want to ask us the question verbally, just raise their hands and I'll be able to go ahead and unmute them so that you can go ahead and verbally ask your question and I'll be happy to answer that for you. Okay, so we'll probably, Ms. Chandana Paul, I think I would require your help here. If anybody is raising up a particular...
Yes, sir.
If anybody...
So there are, I can see some questions in the chat box. The one question which is coming up regularly is, what about the plagiarism check option?
Sure.
Does...
Yeah, perfect. So I think I missed out that particular feature. Let me go ahead and show that to you, right? So the Typeset platform is actually integrated with Turnitin as well. So while you're writing a research article, if you want to do a plagiarism check, you have an option in which you'll be able to do a plagiarism check directly on the platform. So you have an option here called as a plagiarism check. The moment you click on this, you will have an option where you can just go ahead and click here to generate a Turnitin report. The moment you click here to generate a Turnitin report, you can see that you can click on start check. And now within a span of about a few seconds, you will be able to do a plagiarism check directly on the platform itself. So currently this would not enabled on your account because this would be a trial account for you. Once the university subscribe for the platform, you'll be able to directly do a plagiarism check on the platform itself. So currently we're integrated with Turnitin. So before submitting the research article, it is very important that you actually submit a research article with the plagiarism report, because there are a lot of journals which actually makes it mandatory that while you're submitting a research article, you will have to submit a plagiarism report as well. So once you've completely done the formatting, you can do a plagiarism check, download the PDF or download the plagiarism report as well, and then directly submit it to the particular journal. So this is how you'll be able to do the plagiarism check as well. Now there was another important feature is in terms of the share, where you can go ahead and click on share and you can put in the email address of your guide or of your co-author, and then you can directly invite them for them to have a look at this particular platform. You will also receive a report on your registered email ID, the email ID that you would actually use to create an account, as well as you'll be able to download this particular report directly from here. So the plagiarism is already integrated into the platform. So we integrate with Turnitin. I think, Ms. Chandana, we can probably move to the next questions, right?
Yes, sir, one more question which is coming up again and again is, if somebody is not, any institution is not using Typeset, whether individually they will be able to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. So they'll be able to, they'll be able to use the platform individually as well. So we offer individual subscriptions as well as group subscriptions as well. But the ideal way is they can go ahead and visit our website at typeset.io, and then they can go ahead and create an individual account. But the benefit of having a university subscription is that in an individual account, you'll not be able to request for new templates. So for an example, if you're writing a research article for a different journal, and if you're not able to find that template on our platform, we will not be able to support that by building a new template for you. But if you're having an institutional subscription, we'll be able to go ahead and build as many customization templates as you would want. That is the difference between an individual subscription as well as an university subscription.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are a few more questions I'm reading out. Is there any security threats as conversion is online?
Sure. So we follow some of the most best state-of-the-art technology, right? So there is on our website, typeset.io. Let me show you to answer the other question as well. So all of the participants can actually go ahead and visit our website, typeset.io, and then they can go ahead and create an individual account for themselves, right? So in the same website, so we have had a very brief pages, very informative pages on the data privacy and the data security, as well as the security practices that we follow at Typeset. So we use some of the state of the art technology that is used by some of the top MNC banks, such as JP Morgan, ANZ. All of these banks actually use some of the state of the art safety. So we believe that research is very private and it has to be very secure. So that's the reason we do end-to-end encryption, where you can go ahead and probably have a look at all of the data security practices that we follow here on this particular page, right? So you can be assured that we have been used by some of the top institutions in India, such as IITs, IIMs, ISBs, and all of these institutions. So you can be assured that we take security as a very serious issue, and we make sure that it is utmost priority that there would never be a security breach or there would never be any issues in that. So for more details, you can probably go ahead and have a look at this page, which is on data security and data privacy.
Sir, some more questions. Like somebody has asked that is apart from Web of Science or Scopus Index Journal, just UGC care listed journals are also available in Typeset?
Absolutely, yes. So you can probably go ahead and search. So in this template gallery, you have more than 50,000 plus journal templates, right? So these templates have been picked by a due diligence team, which actually looks at the quality of the journal. So most of these journals are under UGC list, and these are Scopus and Web of Science index journals. So you can be assured that these journals actually have a very good impact factor score, which is above more than 3 or 4, right? And there are journals that are already there in the UGC list. So you can probably go ahead and search on the templates gallery. I'm pretty sure that you should be able to find at least more than all the journals that are there in the UGC list. You should be able to find that here in the templates gallery.
Okay, sir, there is a question from Mr. Santosh Kumar. He is asking that he's a research scholar of library science, and he's facing a lot of difficulty in writing research papers. So what is the first step to write a good paper? That is what his question is.
Sure. I think the first step in terms of writing a research paper is to choose a particular domain, right? Now, if he's from a library background, ideally, I'm pretty sure that his expertise would be in library sciences. Now, if you are from a computer programming background, your specialization would be from computer programming, right? So there are a lot of research articles. So today there is an open access movement that is happening, so all the journals are actually letting all the people access the research articles freely. So the first step would be to access the research article from library sciences, then understand what is strong area is, and in that particular strong area, he can start focusing on writing a research article. So there are a lot of open access content that is available on the web today. So he can go ahead and probably refer a few open access journals and a few articles that are readily available on the web. And once he understands that his expertise is in library sciences, he can straight away go ahead and start writing a research article. That's the best way. Sure. Probably let's move on to the next question.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rameshwar writes that many universities are mandatorily using Urkund as a plagiarism check site. So, what and in Typeset it is, I think it's Turnitin. So is there any major difference?
So I'll tell you the difference between Urkund and Turnitin. Turnitin is actually one of the best plagiarism software that is used across the globe. Now, Urkund is actually available in India. Most of the universities in India comply with Urkund because it has been recommended by the government of India, right? So the only difference between Urkund and Turnitin would be a very marginal difference. Now, we use Turnitin because it is some of the best software, and because Typeset is a globally used software. We have been used by a lot of universities across the globe. That's the reason we integrate with Turnitin at the moment. So if somebody would want to use Urkund, they can use Urkund itself. They can do the plagiarism check on Urkund and then upload the research article on Typeset, process it, and then download it into a submission-ready document. So there is no mandatory rules that you will have to use Turnitin. It's up to the institution's choice whether they would want to use Turnitin or Urkund. So if they have Urkund, they can use Urkund separately. If the university has Turnitin, we can go ahead and integrate with Turnitin. That's how it works.
Okay, sir. So somebody has also asked that while formatting, does it check grammar also?
It has a basic spelling checker. Let me show you it. So as you can see, that Typeset is a generic platform. It is not a specialized platform for physics, or it is not a specialized platform for chemistry, or it is not a specialized platform for biology, right? So as a reason, what we have done is we are trying to integrate with Grammarly at the moment, because Grammarly is a grammar checking software. But the integration is currently being built, and I think it should be able to launch in the next few months. But at the moment, we have a basic spell checker. Like if you write any wrong spelling, the software has an ability to indicate that there is a mistake into the spelling. As of now, we only support a spell check, but we do not have a grammar check at the moment. Sure. Can we move to the next question? I think there are a lot of questions asking me to slow down, and
Yes, there is. Sir, Dr. Jayalakshmi also asked that how can we get a membership of Elsevier? What is the process if you...
Elsevier membership, in the sense, does she want to write an article for Elsevier, or does she want to buy a research article from Elsevier?
So you can tell if somebody wants to write a research paper and then take a membership, then what's the process? I think that's what she meant.
I think you do not need to buy a membership for Elsevier, because Elsevier formats are readily available on Typeset, and these can be accessed at free of cost, right? You can create a trial account for yourself on Typeset, and then you can use the platform for about 1,000 words. But if you want to buy a research article from Elsevier, you can go and visit their Elsevier website, and any research article that you would want to buy, you can just click on that. And if it is behind a paywall, you will be asked to make a payment either via a credit card or a debit card. You can just go ahead and complete the payment and then start accessing that research article. Now, to answer all the other questions, which is, why was I really fast? I mean, the webinar was actually scheduled for only probably for a period of about 1 hour. Now, if I extend the webinar for more than about 1 hour, it would turn into a much boring session, right? So initially, I think that was the reason I started initially with a little pace, and then when I come to the platform, showing you the platform how it works, I think I slowed a bit down there. If anybody had any access in terms of if anybody has missed out on any one of this feature, or if anybody has any questions, they can just go ahead and put that in the chat panel, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you.
Yes, sir. In the chat, there was one question from Miss Neha. She wanted to, ask you about if she's doing a qualitative research on HRM, human resource management. So if a demo could be given for that, that's what she...
Now you can go to the change template here, and then you can put in as human resource and management, right? You can just put in any keyword. You'll be able to find at least a few templates here. Like under human resource and management, you can see that we have about 29,000 templates. she can go ahead and use any template that she wants to. Right? And there was another question from Kakali Mahanta, which was, does it cover management and commerce? Absolutely, yes. You can just go ahead and put in as management, right? You will see that there are a lot of management-oriented journals that will show up. Now, if you can put in as commerce, you can have a lot of commerce-oriented journals. You put in any keyword, you'll be able to at least find a few journals here. Now, do we have all the UGC listed journals? Absolutely, yes. I think I've answered that question. I think we used a few journal templates here.
Sir, this typeset is for both quantitative and qualitative research. That was one of the questions.
Yes, I mean, in terms of if you want to do a quantitative or as well as a qualitative research, I mean, this typeset is actually a platform that helps you do the formatting and reformatting, right? So even if you have a qualitative or a quantitative research, you can just go ahead and straight away use the platform in any way. So I think it automatically covers both the approaches.
Somebody also has mentioned that what factors could be the reason for rejection of a paper by your journal?
Sure. Now, there might be multiple reasons why a research article would get rejected. Now, it might be the quality of the research, right? Now, you might be writing a research article for commerce. Now, every journal has its specialization. You might be writing a very good research article, but it might not comply with their specialization. That might be the reason why it might get rejected. Now, when your research article goes through a peer review process, the peer reviewers would not find that the quality of the research is up to the mark. That might be the reason. Your English might not be good, or you might have a lot of grammatical mistakes, or you might not have written the research article into a good technical knowledge, or probably into a technical perspective, right? And then one of the most important rejection aspect is in terms of submission guidelines, because I'll tell you why it is important. Now, imagine that Sushant University is publishing research articles. Now, when Sushant University gets applications, there is a specific format in which the application has to be filled out, right? Now, if the university does not get the application into a specific format, it is not even going to go ahead and spend some time looking at it, right? So that's the reason most of the journals follow a specific submission guidelines. If your research article does not follow a submission guideline, there is no way that your research article would be reviewed, or the editors or the co-editors will have a look at it. So that's the reason Typeset actually focuses on solving the problem of submission guidelines, because understanding these guidelines is a very difficult task, right? As I was showing to you that these guidelines are very, very comprehensive. Understanding each of this would require you a lot of time, right? And you might be able to miss, like for an example, in appendices, you need to make sure that you follow AB, and then you need to follow A.1, A.2, and then table A1 like this. Even if you are doing any sort of small submission errors, or if the article is not complying according to the guidelines, there is 100% chances that your research article might get rejected. Because when a journal invites applications for research articles, it might get thousands of articles in which he has to only pick a few, because every issue, a journal would only publish maximum over 10 to 15 or maximum 20 articles in a month, or probably an issue. Right? So it's very important that you make sure that your article is according to the submission guidelines. Then the quality of the research is good. It has been written in a good grammatical way, or it is written in a good substantive way. And then the topic of the research that you pick should be a really good one, so that the chances of your article getting rejected would be very, very minimal.
Sir, there is one more question from Miss Isha Saini. She asked that is there a we can use Mendeley with this?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have an integration in which you'll be able to input all the references. So if you have already built your references from Mendeley, you'll be able to go ahead and import the references directly from Mendeley, Zotero, or PaperPad. Now let me show you how that is done. You are able to look at my screen, right?
Yes, it's visible, sir.
So I'm just clicking on this reference because we had cited this reference. I'm just clicking on here, and then you will have an option to edit here. The moment you click on edit, let me just show you how to do it. So you click on the cursor, you click on wherever you would want to add a reference, then you click on insert. So you click on cite, references, And then you have an option here as import or add reference. You click on import or add reference, and then you can directly import it using Mendeley or Zotero. So the Mendeley or Zotero would actually give you a BIP file or an XML file. You can directly download and add it here. If you have a BibTeX code, you can add it here. If you have a RefWorks import, you can go ahead and add it here as well. And you can directly copy paste the articles from MS Word. Right? So this is how you can import the reference library from Mendeley or Zotero.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So one last question I can see that what is the maximum size of the file that can be uploaded for formatting in Typeset,
Sure, the maximum file can range up to 15 MB as well. Now, if you're uploading a research article, I think we have been working with a lot of universities across the globe, and the maximum file size that we have come across so far is about 15 MB. Now, if you have very large file with very high quality images, that file size would actually increase at that point of time. So in such case, what you will have to do is you'll have to upload the research article with only the content, and then you can insert the figures separately. Like you can move the cursor, then insert, and then you can add figures separately like this. That's how you can do it.
So this is a question from my side. Do we have hospitality and tourism journals also available in Typeset?
Sure, let me
I
just...
belong to this fraternity, so that is the reason why I'm asking you.
Absolutely. So let's probably search for tourism, right? Yeah. So under tourism, we have about 80 results. Now let's search for hospitality. Yeah. You put in any keyword, you should be able to find at least one or two journals. Now, also, do you have any specific journal that you're looking for? If you can tell me the name, I can search it for you.
Sir, it's a Ephemeral Insight, International Journal of Contemporary Hospitality Management.
Contemporary hospitality and management. Right?
Hospitality management, yes.
Is it by which publisher?
Publisher is Emerald Insight, sir.
Yeah, Emerald Publishing. We do have it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I think
also to answer your other question, by any chance, if you're not finding this particular journal template, right?
Yes.
So at that point of time, if the university has a subscription, we'll be able to go ahead and build a specific template for you within a span of about 24 to 48 hours.
Ishan, sorry to interrupt you. Just inform to all कि कौन से platform के journals we are providing, like management journals we do have, engineering journals. Please explain that, because all people are asking this question कि social science के journals है क्या, management के है क्या. So please clear this point.
Sure. Now, there are majoritarily a few domains, right? For an example, let's start from social science. Type in a social science. You have social science journal, right? You have humanities. Then if you have commerce, then you have arts, then you have English, and if you want to have Hindi, then like you have at least, you can put in any keyword and you'll be able to go ahead and find at least a few, journals in any subject area that you want. Like astrophysics is one of the trending, let's say IoT, Internet of Things. Sure. Now, there was another question by accountancy, right?
Architecture also, sir. Somebody asked for architecture.
Let me search for architecture. You can put in any keyword. We will have at least a few journals there. Also, ICAI. We have conference templates, but we currently do not have the journal template, but we'll be able to do that. Yeah, economics is one of the most used template as well. So we have under economics, And Bhupinder, we also have under law. So the list is very comprehensive. So we have more than 50,000 plus journal templates. So you can be assured that you will at least find a few journal templates under your subject area. Now there were a few. Now there were also a few other questions in the question and answers tab. I think I'm not sure why I'm not able to view that. One moment.
Same about law, about library science. These are the only questions which are coming up now. But as I think you have mentioned that every field journal is available, 50,000 plus journals. So, for all the fields, it will be available.
Yeah, absolutely. So
And journals and conference also.
Yeah, conferences also, correct, as mentioned by Mr. Ahmed.
Yeah.
I think we have covered almost all the questions which have been asked. And sir, you were mentioning that you were a little fast in the beginning, but I think still, everybody must have gained a lot of knowledge, and practically you were showing doing it, how to do it. So that was great. And Manisha, can we, do we go forward with the end of the webinar?
Yeah,
Yeah, ma'am, you can go.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, thank you so much for such a wonderful session and a very informative one. Even I have just started writing research papers, and it has given me a lot of, the way I think if I use this, I'll be able to explore more. So thank you very much. I would request Dr. Malviya to please give a word of thanks. Dr. Malviya?
Yes, yes.
Sir, over to you, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chandana ji. Good afternoon to all. Respected speaker, Mr. Jisan Ahmed ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor DNS Kumar sir, Registrar Dr. S.K. Sarma sir, Professor Dr. Dean Garima Prakash ji, Director Mr. Manish Wagh ji, Mr. Chandana Paul ji, Miss Chandana Paul ji, and Mr. Manish Misra ji, distinguished delegates, and my dear participants. A warm welcome to all of you in national level webinar on effective and efficient writing of research paper of Web of Science, Scopus Index, journals and conference papers using Typeset Research Studio. Answer organized by Library Resource Center and Vettel and Tourism Business School, Susant University, in collaboration with Global EduTech Nexus Publishing House, Pune at Susant University. It is a great honor and privilege to be called upon to propose a vote of thanks to our speaker. His presence today is a great source of motivation for us. We are extremely grateful to Mr. Jisan Ahmed to have accepted our request to deliver a lecture on above said topics. I, on behalf of the Susant University, extend our gratitude to him for his encouragement. His focus on efficient writing of research papers for indexing of and articles with Web of Science, Scopus, index journals, impact factor, citation analysis, H index, plagiarism, create and manage citation of books, articles, video, and more important citation from many databases. Collaborate with other researchers online. Find it is a very relevant paper based on the what you are reading, highlights and annotate papers and share those notes with others. Your skill in talking about different angles of the subject delivered on an invited talks was highly appreciated by participants. We are very grateful to the Vice Chancellor of Susant University for his constant support, vision and commitment to the webinar. Sir, your valuable contribution, guidance and encouragement have given new perspective to Susant University. We are very grateful to Registrar of Sushant University for his support, vision and commitment for the webinar. Sir, your valuable contribution, guidance and encouragement to Sushant University. I wish to thank webinar convener Professor Dr. Garima Prakash, Dean, Vettel Hotel and Tourism Business School, Sushant University, who has worked hard to ensure that this webinar become a memorable success. I wish to thank Mr. Mahesh Wagh, Director, Nexus Global EduTech, Pune, for collaboration of webinar with Global EduTech, Pune. I wish to thank Mr. Manish Mishra for communication and coordination of this webinar in collaboration with Global EduTech, Pune. I wish to thank webinar moderator, Ms. Chandana Paul, Assistant Professor, Vettel Hotel and Tourism Business School, Sushant University. I wish to thank Mr. Sandeep Bishnoi, IT Service in charge and his team for providing all IT support and participation related help today. I would like to thank all the participants for their enthusiastic participation today. It is this treasure which will help keep the memories of this webinar alive. I wish to thank the entire library staff who has worked hard to ensure that this webinar becomes a memorable success. My special thanks to department heads, dean of the all schools for providing all necessary help and support and when required. At the end, I must thank to our professional friends for extending their support in making this webinar a grand success. Thank you very much to all in this webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Malviya. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. And thank you all the participants for joining in. And Mr. Manish Mishra and Mr. Wagh, thank you so much for collaborating with Sushant University and organizing this webinar.
Thank
So
you,
thank
ma'am.
you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Chandana Paul, for also Dr. Professor Malviya for giving us an opportunity to do this demonstration. I think with respect to the participation certificates, the link has been shared. So all the participants can go ahead and just click on a particular certificate link and create the certificates are auto-generated. So they can go ahead and probably create a certificate for themselves. Now, if you have any other questions or if you probably need some information on the subscription details, so the details have been given by Dr. Manish Mishra, so you can probably go ahead and reach out to them. So we would also be in touch with the university if there are any future webinars on any topic related to research. We would be happy to set up a few more webinars as well in the future. So thank you so much for giving us an opportunity, and we guys will wishing you a great rest of the day ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
Mahesh, probably I'll end the webinar.
Yes, you can.
Let's probably
Thank
wait.
you, Dishanji. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sushant University and team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, sir.
Especially thanks to Malviya sir. He is coordinated with us. Yeah, thank you, Paul ma'am. Thank you, Ko. Thank you so much.